The morning rush had just begun at the downtown branch of Riverstone Bank. The glass doors slid open and closed as people came in with coffee cups and small plans for the day. Sunlight fell across the polished floor, and the faint hum of printers mixed with the soft beeps of teller screens. In the middle of this busy room walked a woman in a simple navy dress and flats. She carried a neat leather folder and a calm look. Her name was Maya Thompson. Most days, people knew her as the CEO of Riverstone Bank, but today she had come without her team, without a driver, and without the small signs that told others who she was. She wanted to be treated like any other customer, and she wanted to move quickly. There was an urgent reason behind her visit. Maya had promised a community center that she would help finalize the payment for new equipment. It was not a showy project, it was a practical one. The center needed computers and air conditioners before a heat wave grew worse. A supplier had given her a short window to make payment that day. She had the funds personally, and she wanted to do it right, part in cash for delivery and a certified check for the rest, so the supplier could load their truck with confidence. She had everything prepared, 2 forms of ID, her debit card, her checkbook, and a letter from the supplier with the invoice number. She took a slow breath and joined the line. There was a quiet rhythm to the branch. The greeter nodded and offered, "Good morning," while handing out small slips for deposit details. A child with a backpack leaned on her mother's shoulder, half asleep. A man in a work jacket checked his phone and sighed. Maya held her folder close and watched the tellers. One was older, fast and sure with her hands. Another was new. He looked careful, almost too careful, as if each click needed a second thought. His name tag said Jordan. When it was Maya's turn, she stepped forward with a gentle smile. "Good morning," she said. "I'd like a same-day cash withdrawal and a certified check." Jordan returned the smile, though it wavered. "Of course. May I see your ID and account details?" Maya set everything down in a neat line: driver's license, a second photo ID, bank card, and the checkbook with her name embossed in clean silver letters. She also placed the invoice letter and pointed to the amount. "I'll need this much in cash," she said, naming the figure, "and this much by certified check. I need to finalize a payment today for community equipment. I understand it's a large amount, and I'm ready for any extra verification you might need." Jordan typed. His eyes moved from the screen to the IDs and back again. He typed again, more slowly. Maya could see he wanted to do this right. She kept her hands folded and her voice steady. "If you prefer, we can do the certified check first," she offered. "Whatever is easiest under policy." Jordan swallowed. The amount is above our usual same-day limit," he said. "I think the branch doesn't do same-day withdrawals over that amount." Maya nodded. "Could you please check the policy notes or call for an override?" "I can wait." Jordan hesitated and tapped another window on his screen. "We might need to hold it for 72 hours, he said, glancing up with an apologetic look. "It's about risk and cash on hand." Maya's tone stayed even. "I understand risk. I also know you can manage it with verification. I can step aside while you review. I'm happy to answer any questions." Jordan looked relieved to have time, but he still seemed unsure. "I'll get my manager," he said, standing and signaling to the glass-walled office in the corner. The manager, a woman in a blazer with a tidy stack of folders in her arms, came out quickly. Her name was Linda. She gave Maya a professional smile and listened as Jordan summarized the request. Linda took one glance at the amount and the documents and then at Maya. "I'm afraid we don't do same-day withdrawals for this size," she said. "Policy requires a waiting period. We can't do that today." Maya kept her smile soft. "Could you please show me the specific policy or help me with an alternative? A partial cash amount and the rest by certified check? Or a quick verification call with operations?" Linda's answer came fast, as if she had said it many times. It's 72 hours, across the board. We have to be consistent. Maya tilted her head slightly. Do you have a reference I can read while I wait? Or could we check whether dual control and a cashier's check would meet the requirement? I can present additional verification if needed. Linda looked toward her office, then back at Jordan. We're extremely busy this morning, she said. And our system is not allowing overrides right now. Maya glanced at the screens. She saw normal windows, normal green status lights, and the quiet rhythm around her still moving well. She did not accuse. She did not debate the words not allowing. She simply widened her options. Would you consider placing an internal hold request and escalating a same-day review? The supplier is standing by, and the funds are clear in my account. Linda pressed her lips together. I'm sorry. It's not possible. I understand your concern, Maya said. What is the best path you can offer me right now, given the tools you have? The manager paused. It was a small pause, but it said a lot. It was the pause of someone who wanted to be safe more than they wanted to be helpful. You can try again in 3 days, she said. We'll be able to release it then. The air around them grew still. A couple of customers in line had heard parts of the exchange. The man in the work jacket shifted and checked the time again. The mother held her child closer and looked away, trying to give privacy but still listening. The greeter glanced over and then looked down at her clipboard. Maya did not raise her voice. She did not change her posture. She had been in many rooms where a simple no was the easiest answer and the slowest path to trust. She lifted her pen and opened her leather folder. Inside was a small page labeled Site Notes. She wrote the date, the branch name, the time, and the names on the badges, Jordan and Linda. She wrote the exact phrases she had heard: we don't do same-day withdrawals over a certain limit, system is not allowing overrides, and try again in 3 days. Her handwriting was clear and even. Jordan looked uneasy as her pen moved. Ma'am, he said softly, I'm just following what I was told. I know, Maya said kindly. And I appreciate your care. I also appreciate clear solutions. I'd like to ask one more time, could we try a certified check for the full amount? Or a partial cash withdrawal today, with a same-day check for the rest? I have 2 IDs, I can answer questions, and I can wait for dual control to be completed. Linda's reply stayed firm. No. We cannot do that today. Maya nodded once. Thank you for your time, she said. Could I have a printout of the policy you're referencing? It will help me understand the limits for future transactions. The policy is internal, Linda said. We don't print it for customers. Then could you please write down the policy name or number? Maya asked. Just so I can refer to it when I speak with support. Linda glanced at the clock. I'll have to look it up later, she said. We need to keep the line moving. Maya looked at the line. She agreed, people had places to be. She closed her folder gently. I don't want to hold anyone up, she said. I'll step aside for a moment. She took 2 steps back and stood near the lounge chairs by the tall plant. She did not sigh. She did not show anger. She watched the floor flow again, cards swiped, slips stamped, bills counted. The small boy was awake now, staring at the rolling coin machine. Maya waited, still and patient, like a rock in a stream. Inside her folder, the invoice letter lay next to a small list of contacts. The supplier's phone number had a note, truck on standby. She looked at her watch and counted the hours left in the day. She could almost hear the murmurs of the community center kids who would sit in a cooler room if this went through on time. She thought of the workers who would install the units, the driver who had agreed to make a second stop, and the administrator who had promised to open the doors early. All of it depended on a simple, safe, lawful action that the bank could do if it chose a better path. A tiny wrinkle formed between Maya's brows. Not in frustration, more like focus. She wanted to understand what was really happening. Was there a misunderstanding of the policy? A fear of making a mistake? Or had habit taken over, making no the first and last answer? She looked back at the counter. Jordan's shoulders were tight as he helped the next customer. He seemed like someone who cared but did not know how to move beyond the safe script. The greeter approached Maya with a gentle voice. "Can I get you some water?" she asked. "That would be lovely, thank you," Maya said. The greeter returned with a small bottle and a quiet smile. "We're a bit short-staffed today," she said softly. "I can see that," Maya replied. "Thank you for your kindness." Maya took a sip and then placed the bottle cap back on carefully. She slipped her pen into the folder spine and looked at the glass-walled office. Linda had gone back inside and was on a call, nodding, writing, nodding again. The office door stayed closed. Maya looked at the branch clock once more and wrote a few final lines in her notes: requested alternatives, partial cash plus certified check, internal escalation, dual control. All refused. Tone, calm, brief, but final. Impact, delay for community project. She did not add any judgment. She only wrote the facts that mattered. She knew that facts create clarity, and clarity creates better choices. Then she closed the folder and rested both hands on it, fingertips touching. She let a small, almost invisible smile touch her lips. It was not a smile of victory. It was a smile of understanding. She had seen this pattern before in other places, and she knew exactly what to do next. For now, she would not make a scene. She would not interrupt the line. She would not push through the counter with her title or her power. She would respect the room and the people in it. She would honor the work the tellers were trying to do even if they were missing the bridge between safety and service. She would take one careful step that would help everyone learn the right path without fear. The sunlight moved higher on the floor. The branch kept humming. The clock ticked once, then again. Maya adjusted her grip on the folder, reached into her bag for her phone, and checked her contact list. She would take the next step with calm and clarity. But first, she looked once more at the teller line, at Jordan's careful hands, at the manager's closed door, and at the faces of the customers who wanted simple help to start their day. She nodded to herself and made sure her notes were complete: names, times, words, and missed paths. Then she put the phone back for the moment, choosing patience for one more minute. She stood straight, breathed in, and prepared to guide this room gently toward a better answer. Maya stood by the lounge chairs and watched the line move again. She did not want anyone to wait longer because of her problem. She took another small sip of water and thought about the right next step. She believed in helping people learn, not in embarrassing them. Still, the facts were clear: she had offered safe options, and the branch had said no. She reached into her folder and checked that her notes were complete. Then she walked back to the counter with a gentle smile and spoke in a very calm voice. "Thank you for your time," she said to Jordan and to the greeter who had returned to the desk. "I don't want to cause any trouble for the line. Could I please ask for a copy of the policy section you used today? Or just the policy number? It will help me when I call support." Jordan looked at Linda's office. Linda had hung up from her call and stepped out again, papers in her hand. "Our policy is internal," Linda said. "We can't print it for customers." Her tone was not harsh, but it was final. Maya nodded, still polite. "Could you write the policy name or number on a card? I will share it with support when I ask for advice." Linda glanced at the clock and at the line that had grown again. "I don't have it in front of me," she said. "We need to keep moving." "I'm sorry." She turned to Jordan as if to close the conversation. Maya did not push. She accepted the answer as one more fact in her notes. "Thank you," she said, and stepped aside to the lobby. A quiet voice came from behind Maya. The retired teacher, a woman with silver hair and kind eyes, spoke in a small, hopeful tone. "Excuse me," she said, "they told me to come back tomorrow twice this week. I'm worried I will run out of time on my paperwork." Maya met her eyes gently. "Thank you for telling me," she said. "What's your first name?" "I'm Ruth," the woman said. "I just need a simple letter to confirm my account address." Maya wrote Ruth's address letter twice delayed in her notes. "I'll mention it when I call," she said. A man in a work jacket shifted on his feet and spoke toward Maya, not loudly, just honest. "They promised me a call back about a car loan rate. No one called." His hands were rough, like he used them to fix things all day. Maya turned a little and nodded. "Thank you for sharing that. I'm listening." She wrote "call back not returned car loan rate" and then paused. She did not want to turn the lobby into a list of complaints. She wanted to help, and help required focus. She closed her pen and looked toward the greeter. "Is there a customer service number posted here?" Maya asked the greeter kindly. The greeter pointed to a small sign near the brochure stand. "We have our general support line," she said. "People can call from their phones." "Thank you," Maya said. She walked over to the sign, read the number, and typed it into her phone. The line connected with a soft chime. A warm voice answered. "Thank you for calling Riverstone Bank. My name is Evan. How can I help you today?" Maya kept her tone simple and clear. "Good morning, Evan. I'm at the 3rd Street branch. I requested a same-day cash withdrawal and a certified check from my own account. I presented 2 IDs. I was told it is not possible for 3 days. I asked for alternatives. They refused. Could you please help me check the policy and find a safe solution?" "Of course," Evan said. "May I verify your identity?" The questions were standard. Maya answered them one by one. She was patient and exact. Evan thanked her. "Thank you for verifying. I can see your account. The funds are available. Let me look up the policy on large same-day withdrawals and certified checks. It may need dual control and a quick call to operations." Maya listened, letting the room hum on. "I will wait," she said. "Thank you." A short pause followed, full of keyboard clicks. Evan came back. "I do see that same-day service is possible with enhanced ID verification, dual control, and a record of purpose. A certified check is also possible under proper checks. There might be a misunderstanding at the branch. Would you like me to reach out to the branch manager?" Maya glanced at the glass-walled office. Linda was speaking with another staff member now, pointing at something on a clipboard. "Yes, please," Maya said. "If you can speak with the manager and share the policy steps, that would help everyone." Evan asked for the branch code, which was printed on a small desk sign. Maya read it to him. "Thank you," he said. "Please hold for a moment while I call." Maya set the phone to speaker and held it close to her ear without making the call public. She did not want to make a show. She just wanted a bridge built from policy to action. Her eyes moved across the lobby. The child with the backpack was now fully awake and counting tiles on the floor. The greeter was helping a person fill a form with steady patience. Evan came back. "I reached the branch," he said. "The manager shared that overrides are not available this morning. I explained that the policy allows same-day service with dual control and enhanced verification. The manager said the team is short-staffed and cannot complete those steps right now." Maya let the words land one by one. She was not surprised. She had heard that kind of answer before, safe on the surface, costly underneath. She stayed kind. "Thank you for trying, Evan. Is there a duty support contact in operations who can guide the branch through the steps?" I am willing to wait while they help. One moment, Evan said. Another pause. Then he returned with a steadier tone. I spoke with our operations desk. A duty lead named Carla is available. She is willing to join a quick call with the branch to walk through the process. She can also send a one-page guide by email while she speaks. Maya's voice warmed slightly. That would be very helpful. Can Carla call the branch now? Yes, Evan said. I'll set it up. May I also email you the policy excerpt so you have a copy? Yes, please, Maya replied. Thank you. Maya ended the call with a simple "I appreciate your help," and then took a slow breath. She did not look at the manager's office yet. She wanted the call to reach them first, without any drama in the lobby. She went back to the lounge chairs and sat on the edge, not fully resting, ready to stand when needed. She placed her folder on her lap and checked that her documents were still neatly arranged. She thought again of the community center, the warm air moving across the rooms, the tired fans that did little, the older volunteers who would smile when the new units hummed to life. She imagined the computers being set up and the simple joy of a printer that worked quickly. The greeter approached with a soft step. Is everything okay? She asked. Maya's smile was gentle. We're taking the next step, she said. Thank you for asking. You handled that form beautifully, by the way. The greeter's cheeks lifted in a grateful way. Thank you, she said. We try our best. Maya nodded. I can see that. A moment later, the branch phone on the counter rang. Jordan looked over at Linda's office. Linda came out, picked up the call, and listened. Her expression changed, not to worry, but to attention. She walked toward her office again, speaking softly. Jordan stood still for a heartbeat, then returned to his customer with care. Maya watched without staring. She respected the privacy of a call. She just wanted to know if help was coming through that line. Ruth, the retired teacher, stepped a little closer to the chairs. I hope it goes well, she said. It would be nice to have answers the same day. Maya smiled at her. I agree, she said. May I add one detail to your note? Ruth nodded. They asked me to come back because the letter takes time to generate, she said. But I think it is a simple template. I used to teach office skills. I recognize the format. Maya wrote, Ruth, address letter is a template, likely fast. Thank you, Ruth, she said. That helps. The man in the work jacket gave a small wave. If they call me today, I'll be impressed, he said with a light laugh that carried both hope and doubt. Maya's eyes were kind. Let's ask for that, then, she said. She did not promise. She did not overreach. She simply took in the story, and the weight behind it. In Linda's office, a screen glowed brighter as she clicked open her email. She read quickly, then looked toward the floor and back to the screen, as if measuring how much she could do with the team she had. Maya did not rush in. She stayed seated, calm, patient, ready. The purpose of this morning was not to win at a counter. The purpose was to connect rules with service so that people did not go home with empty hands and heavy hearts. Evan called Maya back. I wanted to update you, he said. Carla has emailed the branch a guide and is ready to join by phone. She asked if you can stay on site for a few minutes while she speaks with them. I'm here, Maya said. Thank you, Evan. I appreciate your steady help. Evan paused, then added, thank you for being patient and clear. It makes it easier to solve. Maya's voice softened. We're building the same bridge, she said. Talk soon. She ended the call and looked around the lobby. The mood felt different now. Nothing big had happened yet, but a sense of movement had entered the room, like a breeze you can feel before you see the leaves move. Jordan's shoulders seemed a little less tight. The greeter's steps had a touch more lift. Even the coin machine's light seemed to blink with a friendlier rhythm. Maya rested her hands on her folder and let that small, almost invisible smile return to her face. Linda came out of the office again and looked toward Maya, then away, then back, as if deciding whether to speak now or after the call. She chose to walk to the counter and check something on her screen. Then she picked up the phone again and said, "Yes, I'm here," with a respectful tone. She looked at Jordan and nodded, signaling that help was on the line. Maya did not interrupt. She waited, listening to the shape of the room rather than the words. After a minute, the phone went quiet and Linda put it down. She stared at the surface of the counter, thinking. Her hand reached into her blazer for a pen, and she wrote a small note on a sticky pad. She did not move fast. She moved like someone who was deciding to try something new in a careful, safe way. She took a breath and walked toward Maya. "Ma'am," Linda said gently, "we're going to review a few steps. It might take some minutes. Thank you for your patience." Maya stood and nodded. "Thank you for working on it," she said. Her voice had no edge. It had only respect, the kind that invites a person to step forward instead of shrink back. Linda returned to her office for the call with operations. The door did not fully close this time. It stayed open by an inch, enough to show that the branch was not hiding behind it. Maya noticed the small change and appreciated it. She did not move closer. She stayed in the lobby, in the light, where customers could see that the bank was still serving them, and that the quiet work behind the glass was for their good. The clock on the wall moved another minute forward. The day was not slipping away. It was opening, step by careful step. Maya kept her thoughts on the community center and on the people in the lobby. She pictured both groups getting the help they needed, equipment delivered on time, letters printed without delay, calls returned before the day ended. She held that picture in her mind the way a builder holds a plan, steady and clear, ready to guide the hands that will bring it to life. Evan's words echoed softly in her ear, "There might be a misunderstanding at the branch." Misunderstandings were normal. They were not failures. They were invitations to learn. Maya believed that deeply. She believed that the right answer lived in the open space between caution and care. She also believed that the best leaders made that space easy to find. The lobby hum carried on. The printer near the back spat out a light stack of forms. The coin machine stopped and then started again. A quiet breeze slipped in when the doors opened, and the sunlight moved a little further across the floor. Maya watched, present and patient, ready for the next call, ready for the next step that would turn today's no into a careful, confident yes. The branch was still moving, but something subtle had changed. The phone on Linda's desk stayed live, and a quiet, steady voice from operations spoke through the small speaker. Linda answered in short, careful phrases. She asked for the steps again. She wrote them down. She asked what to do if one step failed. She wrote that down, too. Jordan kept serving customers, but he peeked over now and then, as if trying to see each word land on the page. The greeter kept smiling softly and helping with forms. The lobby felt like a room that had been holding its breath and was now finally learning how to breathe again. Maya stood with easy posture near the tall plant. She did not pace. She did not look at her watch every minute. She watched people. She saw the mother adjust the strap on her child's backpack. She saw a young couple compare account numbers and whisper to each other as they found the right form. She saw Ruth hold her small folder with both hands, a habit that came from years of keeping papers safe for her students. Maya took in these small details and held them with care. They were the quiet reasons that service mattered. The call in Linda's office shifted. The sound of a second voice joined the first. The tone was warm, clear, and practical, the kind of voice that could build a bridge out of plain words. This was Carla from operations. "We can do this together," Carla said. "First, confirm the ID with enhanced checks. Second, pull up the account and confirm the status and the purpose. Third, start dual control for the cash and certified check. Fourth, log a short note with time, steps taken, and the reason for same-day service. Fifth, have a supervisor co-sign the action in the system. Sixth, if staffing is tight, ask for a real-time warm line from operations to stand by. We'll stay with you. Linda repeated each step as she wrote it, and her voice grew more steady. Enhanced ID, account status, purpose, dual control, log, cosign, warm line, she said. She looked out at the lobby and her eyes met Maya's for a second. There was no challenge in Maya's face. Only that calm, even kindness that says, we are on the same side. Linda hung up for a moment and walked out with a new tone. Ma'am, she said to Maya, we're going to try the enhanced verification path and dual control. It may take a few minutes, but we're ready to begin. Maya nodded. Thank you for working through it, she said. I can wait. She reached for her folder and offered her 2 IDs again. Linda accepted them with care and handed them to Jordan for scanning. Jordan checked the anti-fraud markers gently against the light. He followed the prompts on his screen. His shoulders lowered a little, as if the structure of the steps gave him a safe path forward. As Jordan worked, Linda read from her notes and set up dual control. She called a second staff member from the back office to join the process. The second staff member entered the supervisor code at the appropriate moment. Linda verified the account status and asked a few short, respectful questions. This is for a supplier payment, correct? She asked. Yes, Maya confirmed. Part cash for delivery, part by certified check. Linda nodded and typed a brief note. She kept her voice level. She did not make the questions into a wall, she made them into a door. A small pause followed as the system processed the cosign. The screen flashed green. The light was small, but in that moment it felt like a sunrise. Linda placed the phone on speaker with the operations desk for the next part. Carla's friendly tone filled the little office and floated out into the lobby. You're doing fine, Carla said. Now we prepare the certified check. Confirm the payee and the exact amount. Print the check, have a supervisor sign, and log the check number in the note. Maya handed over the invoice letter and pointed to the payee field. Linda matched the letters exactly. Jordan printed the check with careful hands, as if each letter on the paper was important. Linda signed it, then had the second staff member sign, too. The printer's steady hum felt like a drum beat of progress. The check cooled on the tray for a moment while the ink settled, and then Linda placed it in a protective sleeve. When it came to cash, Linda checked the vault availability and followed the dual control steps. She counted in even stacks and allowed Jordan to verify. They spoke numbers in a clear, low voice. There were no rushed words, no nervous laughs, just focused care. Maya watched without staring. She appreciated that the process was not a performance, it was simply good work done the right way. Customers in the lobby began to notice that something good was happening. The man in the work jacket leaned a little to see, then stepped back, respecting the privacy of the transaction. Ruth held her folder closer to her heart and smiled. The greeter offered bottled water to 2 people in line with a quiet apology for the earlier delay. The mood lightened, not because someone had forced it, but because the room had found a better rhythm. When the check and cash were prepared, Linda returned Maya's IDs with steady hands. Thank you for your patience, ma'am, she said. We have your certified check ready and the cash counted. I'm going to log one more note about the steps we took. Would you like an envelope for the cash? Maya nodded. Yes, please, she said. She took the protective sleeve for the check and the sealed envelope for the cash. She checked them both carefully and placed them into her leather folder in a secure way. Everything looks correct, she said softly. Thank you. A small moment of silence sat between them. Linda held her pen but did not write. Jordan stood nearby, hands at his sides, as if waiting for a cue. Maya took this moment with care. She looked at Linda and then at Jordan. Her voice did not rise, but it carried. I'd like to share something with you, she said. I'm Maya Thompson. She waited a beat. I lead this bank. Jordan blinked once, then twice. His mouth opened a little in surprise and then closed. Linda's eyes widened and then steadied. She knew that this was not a trick. It was a truth offered gently. The lobby grew very quiet, but not heavy. It was the quiet that comes when a room chooses to listen. Maya continued in the same warm tone. I came quietly because I wanted to be helped like any other customer. Today, the first answer was no. But the right answer was a safe yes. You found it? That is what matters now. If you are willing, I would like to spend 10 minutes with you and your team. Not to blame. To learn together. Right now, while the steps are fresh. Linda nodded almost at once. Yes, she said. I want that. Jordan nodded, too, a quick honest motion. The greeter looked hopeful. Ruth's eyes shone with quiet joy. The man in the work jacket gave a small thumbs up, as if to say, teach them, and I will cheer. Linda opened the glass-walled conference room and left the door open. It was important that the room stayed part of the branch, not apart from it. Maya walked in with her folder and placed it on the table. She requested the warm line from operations to join them on speaker. In a moment, Carla's voice came through again, cheerful and steady. I'm here, she said. Happy to help. Maya started with appreciation. Thank you for serving customers during a busy morning, she said. Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for trying new steps on the spot. That is not easy. She paused and let her words land. Then she picked up a marker and drew a simple path on the whiteboard. Ask rightward arrow, check rightward arrow, offer rightward arrow, escalate rightward arrow, serve. Under each word, she wrote a short phrase. Under ask, she wrote purpose and ID. Under check, policy lookup and system status. Under offer, at least one compliant option. Under escalate, warm line plus dual control. Under serve, document and confirm. She turned to the team. When you feel unsure, she said, use this path. The offer step is important. Before you say no, propose at least one safe alternative. If you are busy or short-staffed, jump to escalate. Call the warm line. Ask operations to stand with you. You are not alone. Carla added a brief, useful note through the speaker. We prefer a call rather than a stall, she said. If you call, we can guide the steps and reduce risk for everyone. We would rather help you for 5 minutes than ask a customer to return in 3 days. Jordan spoke softly. I felt afraid to make a mistake, he said. I thought saying no was safer. Maya nodded kindly. Fear is normal, she said. But fear without tools becomes a wall. Fear with tools becomes a bridge. You created a bridge today. Hold on to that feeling. Linda looked at her notes again. I should have asked for the warm line earlier, she said. I was worried about time and staff. Maya met her eyes with respect. You made a new choice today, she said. Let's make it easier going forward. Post the warm line at the counter. Keep a one-page guide within reach. Schedule a quick check-in each morning to review any limits for the day. These simple moves will give you confidence. The greeter raised her hand, a little shy. When I see someone waiting and getting anxious, should I offer water and explain the steps we're taking? She asked. Maya smiled. Yes, she said. Kindness and clarity are strong together. Tell them, we're verifying your request for safety and speed. Thank you for your patience. Small words, big comfort. Maya looked toward the lobby and back at the team. Would you be open to one more small idea? She asked. They nodded. Let's try a short, same-day promise board, she said. On a small whiteboard near the counter, write 3 items: we return calls by 5 p.m. If we must say no, we offer at least one safe alternative. When in doubt, we call operations while you are here. These lines are simple. They guide us and comfort customers. Carla's voice chimed in again. I will email the one-page guide right now, she said. It includes the dual control checklist, the warm line number, and a short script for offering alternatives. Please print it and keep it at each station. Linda breathed out, and the breath carried both relief and a new kind of energy. We can do that, she said. We can do all of that. Jordan nodded with more confidence now. The greeter smiled in a way that reached her eyes. The team was not just hearing instructions, they were seeing a new habit take shape. Maya closed the small meeting with a simple, sincere line. You did well today, she said. You learned in public, and you served in public. That builds trust. She turned slightly and looked through the glass toward the lobby. Let's go thank the people who waited. They stepped out together. Linda addressed the customers in a warm, clear voice. Thank you for your patience, she said. We were reviewing a process to serve you better. If anyone is waiting for a letter or a call, please see me now. We will help you today. Ruth stepped forward. Linda listened, checked the template on her screen, and smiled. You're right, she said. This letter takes only a minute. She clicked, printed, and signed. Ruth's eyes filled with gentle relief. Thank you, she whispered. The man in the work jacket came next. Linda looked up his rate inquiry and set a call back for the early afternoon. We will call you before 3 p.m., she said. He gave a small nod that meant more than a dozen words. Maya stood a little to the side, not at the center, but close enough to offer help if needed. She was ready to leave soon, now that the turning point had come and the path forward was clear. The certified check sat safe in her folder. The cash was sealed and secure. The supplier would be ready to deliver. The community center would be cooler. The computers would be set up. But more than that, a branch had learned how to turn a hard no into a careful yes. Before she stepped away, Maya spoke once more to Linda and Jordan in a low, kind voice. One last thing, she said. When you are unsure, say, let me find a safe solution. Those 7 words change the mood at the counter. They tell people you are with them. Linda wrote the words on a sticky note and placed it on her screen. Jordan did the same. The morning light had shifted higher on the polished floor. It was the same lobby, the same desks, the same screens. Yet it did not feel the same. It felt open. It felt ready. The turning point had not been loud. It had been careful, steady, and real. And because it was real, it would last. Maya stayed near the conference room for a moment and watched the team return to their desks with new purpose. The whiteboard path was still in her mind: ask, check, offer, escalate, serve. She knew that ideas fade unless they become habits. So she began to turn the morning's turning point into a simple plan the branch could use every day, even when it was busy, even when someone was new, even when things felt unclear. She asked Linda for a small whiteboard and a marker. The greeter brought one from the back, wiped clean and ready. At the counter, in a place where customers could see, Maya wrote 3 short lines in clear letters. We return calls by 5 p.m. today. If we must say no, we will offer at least one safe option. When in doubt, we call operations while you are here. She capped the marker and stepped back. The lines were simple, almost too simple. But simple words carry weight when they are kept. Linda stood beside her and read the lines out loud, softly, as if learning a promise by heart. Jordan asked if he could add a small detail to the board. May I write the warm line number in tiny print on the side, he said, so we see it at a glance. Maya smiled. Yes, she said. That's a good idea. He wrote it in a corner where staff could read it but customers would not feel that the bank hid behind a secret number. It was there as a tool, not as a wall. Next, Maya asked for a quick checklist at every station. Carla had already sent the one-page guide. Linda printed 3 copies and slid them into clear sleeves. Each sleeve had the steps in bold: enhanced ID, account status, purpose, dual control, log, cosign, warm line. Maya asked the team to place the sleeves next to their screens, not in a drawer. Tools we can see become tools we use, she said. The greeter nodded as if that line would help her in other parts of life, too. The lobby was calmer now. Ruth stood at the counter, holding her fresh address letter with gentle happiness. The man in the work jacket had a callback time set for early afternoon, and Linda had entered it into a small same-day call tracker on her screen. Maya asked if the branch could create a simple shared sheet for Follow UPS. Linda opened a blank table. At the top, she wrote, name, need, due by, owner, done. She added Ruth's name with letter printed in the done column and the man's name with rate callback by 3 p.m. in the due by column, and she wrote her own name under owner. We will check this at 4:45 p.m. each day, she said. No one goes home with an empty box in the done column. Maya turned toward the greeter. May I ask you to try a new phrase for customers who wait, she said kindly. The greeter nodded, eager to learn. Say, we are verifying your request to keep you safe and to serve you fast. Thank you for your patience. Would you like water while we finish? These words are honest and kind. They explain what is happening. The greeter practiced the line once, then again, until it sounded like her own voice. Maya called the supplier from her phone, just a few steps away from the counter, speaking quietly so she did not distract anyone. She confirmed the certified check number and the amount, and asked about delivery timing. We are ready to release the truck, the supplier said. If we get the check by noon, we can start installs by late afternoon. Maya glanced at the branch clock and smiled. The plan would hold. The community center would feel the cool air soon. Back at the counter, Jordan hesitated when a new customer asked a question that did not fit his normal script. He looked at the checklist, then at the whiteboard promises, and then at Linda. I can offer a safe option, he said more to himself than to anyone else. We can do part of this now, and we can schedule a quick call for the rest. He turned to the customer and said the same in a clear, friendly tone. The customer's shoulders relaxed. A calm answer does not always say yes to everything, Maya thought. It says yes to the next right step. Maya asked Linda about the afternoon. Could we gather your team again at 3 o'clock for a short follow-up session, she said. We can review 2 real cases, one easy and one tricky. We will practice the words on the board and use the guide in our hands. I will join by video if I have to leave. Linda agreed with care. She walked to the back to check the staff schedule and moved one short break to make space for the session. When she returned, she looked a little lighter, as if planning ahead had taken weight off her shoulders. Maya pulled out a small notepad, the kind she used for field visits, and wrote 3 quick goals for the branch: reduce returns, speed safe service, increase clear answers. She showed the list to Linda. Let's measure small wins, she said. Today, you already solved 2 delays and 1 large transaction. That is real progress. Tomorrow, try to log how many times you offered a safe option before saying no. By Friday, write 1 example of a time you used the warm line and it saved time. These notes will teach the rest of the team. Carla called back with a short update from operations. I'm logging the playbook page in our knowledge base, she said. All branches will see it by end of day. We added a bold box that says, "Call, don't stall. If your branch is short-staffed, we will stay on the warm line and walk you through the steps." Maya thanked her and asked for one more small favor. "Please include 2 sample phrases in that page," she said. "One for customers and one for staff. For customers, we are verifying your request for safety and speed. Thank you for your patience. For staff, let me find a safe solution." These words offer direction kind and clear. A young couple approached the counter next. They were trying to open a small savings account and kept mixing up which form to sign. Jordan guided them with new patience. He did not rush them. He used the ask and check steps from the board. He offered to help them set up small automatic transfers so they could save a little each week without thinking about it. They nodded, grateful. Tiny wins build trust brick by brick. Maya turned her attention back to security and privacy. She asked Linda to review the dual control log from the large transaction they had just finished. Linda opened the entry, and Maya read the timestamps and the cosign entries. Everything lined up. "Keep this format," Maya said. "If another branch asks how to document, show them this screen. It is clean and clear." Linda took a screenshot for training use and removed any personal details, as she had been trained to do. Good service, Maya thought, is careful with people's time and careful with their data. A small ripple of laughter came from the back as the printer finished a run of new guides. It was not loud laughter. It was the kind that comes when work starts to feel possible again. The greeter put the guides at each station and tucked an extra copy under the phone. She added sticky notes with the warm line number and the "let me find a safe solution" phrase. Tools visible, tools usable. Maya called the community center director to give a quick update. "Your check is issued," she said softly. "The cash is ready. Delivery looks good for early afternoon." The director's voice carried relief. "Thank you," she said. "We have volunteers waiting with screwdrivers and tape. The children finish at 2. If we can turn the cool air on by 4, it will feel like a small miracle." Maya smiled at the picture in her mind, people in t-shirts lifting boxes, smiling as the first breath of cool air moved through a room. Before noon, Maya asked Linda to try one more small test. "Let's do a 5-minute huddle with the whole team," she said. "We can stand in a small circle by the whiteboard. We will name one win from this morning, one lesson, and one promise for the afternoon." Linda gathered the staff. Jordan named the win, "We did dual control smoothly." The greeter named the lesson, explaining the steps calms people. Linda named the promise, "We will return calls by 3 p.m., not 5 p.m., if we can." Maya thanked them and kept the huddle short. Short meetings that end on time are the ones people trust. Just then, a small problem appeared. The system flagged a routine account update for a customer in line. The flag was new to Jordan, and he felt his nerves rise. He looked at the board, then at the guide. He raised his hand slightly to Linda and said the 7 words, "Let me find a safe solution." Linda came to his station, read the flag, and called the warm line on speaker with short, clear words. Carla answered and walked them through 2 checks. The flag cleared. The customer smiled, relieved. The whole exchange took 3 minutes. "Call, don't stall," Linda said softly after she hung up. That felt good. Jordan nodded, his confidence growing in real time. Maya knew that not every day would go so smoothly. There would be weeks when staff were sick, when systems were slow, when someone new forgot a step. But habits, once built, carry people through hard days. She took another look at the whiteboard and at the guide sleeves. She saw the sticky notes and the small shared sheet with due times in bold. These were not grand tools. They were everyday tools, the kind that keep promises alive. She pulled Linda aside for a brief, private word. "You led well today," she said. "You listened, you changed course, and you invited help. That takes strength. Linda's eyes softened. I was afraid at first, she said. Afraid of doing the wrong thing. Afraid of looking weak in front of the team. Maya's voice stayed gentle. Courage is not loud, she said. It is the quiet choice to ask for help and to keep learning while people can see you. Your team saw you do that. They will follow you. Before she left, Maya wrote a short note for the regional team and scheduled a brief video session at 3 o'clock with the branch. The agenda was simple: a 2-minute recap of the morning, a 5-minute role play for offering options, a 5-minute review of the guide, and a 2-minute check of the promise board. She kept it tight on purpose. Good plans leave room for real work. She walked once more through the lobby, stopping by Ruth to ask if everything was set. Ruth nodded, tapping her letter with a gentle finger. I will file this today, she said. Thank you for caring about small things. Maya smiled. Small things are often big things in someone's day, she said. The man in the work jacket raised 2 fingers in a small salute. I'll wait for that call, he said with a hopeful grin. You'll get it, Linda answered from behind the counter, and Maya heard the promise sit firmly in her voice. At the door, Maya paused and looked back. The whiteboard promises sat bright and honest where anyone could see them. The guide sleeves leaned against screens like open hands. The warm line number peeked from the corner, ready. Jordan served a customer with steady confidence. The greeter welcomed someone new with the clear, kind phrase. Linda checked the shared sheet and set a reminder for 2:55 p.m. to make that rate call. The room felt different now, not because of who Maya was, but because of what the team had chosen to do. Maya stepped into the warm day with her folder safe under her arm. The certified check and the cash rested inside, ready for the supplier. But the better part of the morning was not in the folder. It was in the promises on the board, in the words in people's mouths, and in the steps that had turned a hard pause into a working path. The plan was no longer an idea. It was the shape of the day. And because it was simple, kind, and safe, it could be lived again tomorrow. Maya stepped out into the warm day with her folder under her arm and a quiet, steady feeling in her chest. She called a car to the supplier's office and arrived with the certified check and the sealed envelope of cash. The supplier checked the details, matched the numbers, and nodded with a smile that was all business and all relief. Thank you, he said. We'll move the truck right now. He turned to his team, clapped his hands once, and the small warehouse woke up like a stage between scenes. Boxes were loaded. Clipboards moved. People in bright vests rolled out dollies and tightened straps. At the community center, volunteers were waiting near the back door with a cart that had seen many years and many drives over cracked sidewalks. The director, a woman with sharp eyes and a soft voice, thanked the delivery team and Maya in the same breath. We will remember this day, she said. It will not look like a big event on the news, but it will feel like one in every room. Maya helped where she could without getting in the way. She cut packing tape. She checked model numbers on the boxes. She held a door open as 2 people carried a heavy unit inside. It was practical work, quiet, and clean. It felt like the right end to a morning that had started with a closed door and was ending with many open ones. By mid-afternoon, a low hum floated through the halls as the first air conditioner switched on. The air changed from heavy to light. People breathed a little deeper without realizing it. A small boy pressed his cheek to the cool vent and laughed at the tickle of moving air. In a side room, 2 volunteers plugged in the new computers and watched the screens glow. The printer gave a soft click as it woke up, and a test page slid out with a simple black line across the top. The director closed her eyes for a second and then opened them with a grateful smile. It's just paper and air, she said, but today it feels like hope. Maya took a quick photo of the whiteboard in the branch's lobby from earlier, the promise lines in clear ink, and sent it to the regional team with a short note. She did not write about blame. She wrote about learning, tools, and service. Call, don't stall was the subject line. In the email, she listed the steps the branch had used, the warm line support from operations, and the change in mood once the team had a simple path. She asked for two things: push the one-page guide to all branches by the end of the day, and invite managers to try a 5-minute huddle this week with one win, one lesson, and one promise. Simple moves? Everyday moves? At 3 o'clock, Maya joined the branch by video for their short follow-up session. The cameras showed the same glass room, the same table, the same faces, but the posture was different. Linda's shoulders were no longer tight, they sat square with quiet purpose. Jordan had a pen and a small notebook open as if ready for a class he had chosen. The greeter stood near the door, half in the room and half in the lobby, so she could listen and still welcome people. Maya kept the session tight. They practiced saying, "Let me find a safe solution," until it sounded natural in each person's voice. They ran a quick role play, a process that starts with a no, moves to an offered option, and ends with an on-the-spot call. Carla from operations joined for 2 minutes and shared one helpful reminder. When you say, "We are verifying this to keep you safe and to serve you fast," you protect trust, she said. People hear the purpose and the plan. After the call, the branch moved with a new rhythm. Linda checked the shared sheet at 2:55 p.m. and called the man in the work jacket before he could worry. She explained his rate options clearly and promised to email the details by 5. He laughed in a soft, surprised way. "I wasn't expecting this fast," he said. "Thank you." Linda smiled. She marked done on the sheet and felt the small rush that comes from keeping a word on time. Ruth walked back in with a question about her letter, and the greeter answered before Linda had to leave her station. The letter was fine, the date correct, the seal in the right place. Ruth thanked them and added, "You all look lighter today." The greeter smiled back. "We are," she said. "We found a better way to help." Near closing time, Maya wrote a short reflection on a page in her field notebook, the same kind she had used in many branches over the years. She wrote, "Rules are a bridge, not a wall." Under it she wrote, "Offer before refusal." Under that, "Escalate early." 3 lines, like the 3 lines on the branch whiteboard. She sent the note to herself with a reminder to bring it to the next leadership meeting. Ideas have a way of slipping away, she knew, unless they are caught, named, and used. The next week, Maya returned to the 3rd Street branch without an appointment and without any plan to reveal herself. She walked in during the late morning, when the lobby often felt sleepy. Today, it was awake but calm. On the promise board, the 3 lines still stood in clear letters. A small corner of the board had a new line written in smaller print, "We greet you with options." It was smart, and it was kind. The warm line number still lived in the corner where staff could see it. The guide pages were still at each station, a little worn now, which meant they were used, not ignored. Jordan was helping a customer who looked nervous about paperwork. He used the ask step, then the check step, then the offer step. "We can do part of this now," he said, "and I can call operations for the rest, so you don't have to return." The customer's face changed from tight to open in an instant. Jordan moved with calm hands and steady words, and his voice had a note of quiet pride. A new hire stood nearby with a training badge and watched how he worked. Jordan paused to explain why he offered an option before refusing anything. He pointed to the guide page and then to the promise board. He was teaching as if it was the most normal thing in the world. Maya listened and felt a soft confidence grow inside her. The best sign of progress was not a speech from her, it was a small lesson spoken by someone who had been afraid last week and was steady this week. Linda came out from her office with a clipboard that had a simple chart on it. She was counting callbacks and marking times. She looked up, saw Maya, and met her with a quiet smile that felt like a handshake. Maya did not step to the center, She stepped beside Linda and asked a light question. How are the promises holding? Linda showed the chart. We hit 100% callbacks by 5 p.m. 3 days in a row, she said. Yesterday we finished by 4:10 p.m. She pointed to another line. We used the warm line 4 times this week. The average call took 3 minutes. Each call saved a return visit. She tapped the last column. No complaints logged this week about no one called me back. That is new. The greeter was in motion with a style that looked like kindness with a plan. She watched the line and offered small updates to people waiting. We are verifying your request, she said in her clear voice. Thank you for your patience. Can I get you water? No one had to guess what was happening. No one had to fear a long, silent wait. Clarity had replaced guesswork, and warmth had replaced distance. A small surprise appeared around noon. Ruth came back with a small tin of biscuits she had baked herself. She did not make a big show of it. She simply placed the tin on the counter and said, "For the team." Linda checked with a quick glance to be sure it was okay to accept, then opened the tin so everyone could take one on their break. Jordan laughed softly when he tasted one. This is better than any training gift I've seen, he said. Ruth replied, so is a letter printed on time. Everyone smiled. It was a circle of human things, a letter, a biscuit, a kind word, a call made when promised. These were not grand gestures. They were the details that make trust real. In the afternoon, the man in the work jacket returned to sign a few papers about his rate. He looked at the promise board and pointed to the line about calls. You kept that, he said. Linda nodded. We plan to keep it every day, she replied. He signed, shook hands in a modest way, and headed out with a lighter step. Small wins, Maya thought again, are not small to the person who needed them. Maya sent a short update to operations, 3RD Street is keeping the promises. Whiteboard still up. Guide pages worn from use. Warm line calls average 3 minutes. Customers calmer. Team steadier. Jordan is teaching a new hire. Linda is tracking callbacks at 2:55 p.m., not 4:55 p.m. She added one sentence for the leadership team, the easiest wall is no, the faster bridge is let's find a safe yes. 2 other branches wrote back later that week. One manager shared that they had adopted the same board with local words that fit their town. Another said they used the warm line during a lunch rush and completed a tricky transaction without asking a customer to return. 3 minutes on the phone saved 3 days of delay, the message said. We will do this again. On Friday afternoon, Maya returned to the community center. The air felt cool on her skin before she stepped through the door. The rooms were brighter, not because the lights were different, but because people were more comfortable. A row of kids sat in front of the new computers, learning how to type in simple steps. The director stood at the edge of the room with a look that mixed respect with gratitude. I meant what I said, she told Maya. This day will not be on the news, but it is in our hearts. Maya nodded. It is in mine, too, she said. She did not stay long. She did not need to. The result spoke for itself: the quiet hum of machines, the soft blow of cool air, and the slow, steady work of people doing good things in a good space. On her way back to the office, Maya thought about the moment in the branch when she had said her name out loud. She had used her title only when it would help the team learn in safety, not to push anyone down. She knew there would be days ahead when other branches would struggle, and the easy answer would be to send a tough memo. But tough memos do not teach hands what to do at a counter when a screen blinks and a person is waiting. Guides, warm lines, and simple words do. She wrote one last note in her field book and underlined it twice. Leadership is not catching people, she wrote. It is catching problems before they catch customers. Under that, she added, instant regret is not fear of punishment. It is the sharp feeling when we see how a habit we thought was safe has been costing trust. She closed the book and sat with that thought for a quiet minute. Then she smiled, small and real, because she had seen the habit change. The next Monday, a short message went to all branches with a single page attached. It showed the path that had worked: ask, check, offer, escalate, serve. It listed the 7 words that change a moment: let me find a safe solution. It printed the customer phrase that calms worry: we are verifying this to keep you safe and to serve you fast. It ended with a plain line at the bottom: call, don't stall. The bank did not celebrate with banners or a video. It chose something better. It chose to repeat the same small steps across many rooms, so that more days would end the way this one did: people helped, promises kept, trust made, and no one going home with a heavy heart after hearing a quick no. When Maya visited 3rd Street again a month later, the whiteboard still stood in clear ink. The promise lines were now part of the air of the room. A child in a backpack waved at the coin machine, Ruth's biscuits had become a small legend, the man in the work jacket had sent a thank you note, and the warm line number had become as normal as the phone itself. Linda greeted Maya with a steady smile. We don't wait for perfect days anymore, she said. We build better ones with the tools we have. Maya nodded. And that, she said, is what a bank should do.